Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Run. Run. Go away. Get away from me. Oh, God. There's more. Oh, God. I'm getting lightheaded. No. Please. Please don't. Oh, wait a minute. I'm level 60. Azeroth is filled with dozens and dozens of monsters, all with unique origins and interesting quirks. So, let's talk about some of these monsters that the Horde will face and why they want them dead. But, before I do that, you know, at first I was gonna make this video about a raid. Shadow Legends! That's right, today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and it's a popular RPG turn-based mobile game set in a raw, dark, and epic world. And it's free. My favorite part about the game is just all the heroes you can get, and my favorite type of heroes are the lizardmen. I mean, look at this guy. And one of the reasons why I like him so much is that he reminds me of my own lizard. Just not as fat. You can find me playing the game and my name is Platinum WoW. Raid Shadow Legends is now available on mobile and desktop, and the Battle Pass for Season 1 is now live, where you can get energy refills, gems, artifacts, and epic and legendary champions by completing daily and weekly challenges. So what are you waiting for? In the video description I have a special link to get 100k silver, 50 gems, 1 energy refill, and 1 free champion that will really help you out in the early levels, and you can find it all in the top right corner of the screen when you log in. And good luck, and I'll see you there. The ad is now over. Harpies. They have and continue to be one of the mysteries in the lore. At first, their origins were unknown. The rumor was that they were originally night elves who betrayed Queen Ajara, and she turned them into these bird-like beasts as the ultimate punishment. Their true origins, however, are from the wild god Aviana, who was killed in the War of the Ancients by a swarm of demons. Her children were without purpose or power after her death, so they succumbed to the temptations of serving darker forces like the Old Gods and the Emerald Nightmare. Harpies are known for only living to cause mischief and sorrow. They're known for picking off lone travelers across Kalimdor, and they also have a poisonous kiss. Kind of like my ex-wife. God, she was such a bitch. Some Harpies have even allied themselves with kobolds in exchange for shiny things. Kind of like ravens in real life and their affinity for shiny things. One question that is asked a lot is, where are the male Harpies? And, you know, that's a great question, and it still isn't really explained exactly how Harpies reproduce, but I guess the assumption is they're just asexual and don't need a partner. But, I'm getting really uncomfortable talking about this, so let's just move on. Well, now I'm even more uncomfortable. When Blizzard made Centaur, they sought after making the most disgusting and unappealing race in all of WoW. In a past video, I talked about the origins of the Centaur race when talking about Moradon. So to make a long story short, an obese rock woman and a natural demigod got it on and created the bastard child that is the Centaur, and they really don't have any redeemable qualities. They're stupid, they're ugly, and they constantly have flies around them, so you know that they're smelly. The Centaur are in conflict with a lot of foes, but one of their mortal enemies is the Tauren. Who's oh my god, dude, come on. Karen, hey, look, the Centaur are here again. What do you want me to say? This ugly son of a bitch is just staring at me right now. Like, what am I supposed to do? The Centaur constantly harassed the Tauren and drove them out of Mulgore and hunted much of the wildlife to extinction. The only reason why the Tauren aren't extinct now is because Thrall and his buddies showed up to help assist in defending the cow people from the horse people. And the thing is, Centaurs love killing anything in their path, even other Centaurs. Infighting between tribes is a very common occurrence, especially between the Gelkis and the Magrim clans in Desolus. Centaur take a lot of inspiration from Mongolian culture. The leader of the tribe is called a Khan, their villages are made out of yurts, and they're a bunch of warmongers. But they aren't the only warmongers in Kalimdor. The Quill Boar are much like the Centaur, as they are both barbarian tribal races and are enemies to the Tauren and the Centaur too. So the cow people, the pig people, and the horse people, they're all trying to kill each other at the same time. The Quill Boar have always been kind of seen as a joke race, but they also have the most badass origin of all time. Back in the War of the Ancients, there was a giant boar called Agamaggan who fought the Legion. Not only was this boar the size of a skyscraper, but he also shot thorns from his back and breathed acid on demons. Unfortunately, he died, but his body decomposed, and large, twisting thorns dug their way through the earth, creating the crawl we know today and the Quill Boar race. The Quill Boar worship the remains of their god, and the entrance of the Razorfen Downs is told to be the skull of Agamaggan. The sons and daughters of Agamaggan use the blood of their god to aid their study in geomancy, and have even allied themselves with the Scourge, presumably to resurrect their big boar daddy. And while they're badass, these pig people are aggressive to anyone not of their race, and they must be stopped before their strength overpowers the land of the Barons and even all of Kalimdor. But if that's not badass enough for you, they also ride motorcycles in Hearthstone. And speaking of pollution, the Venture Company is another enemy the Horde must face. This goblin trade organization is one of the many in Azeroth, but many of the other companies like the Steamweedle or the Bilgewater are friendly organizations that focus on trade, but the Venture Company is all about ripping the resources from Azeroth without a care in the world and making a profit in the process. In Classic, they've also allied themselves with other unsavory foes. You know those zombie trolls in Stranglethorn Vale? Well, they're called the Zanzil, and they discovered a way to raise the dead with the use of a poison. The Venture Company stored this poison in the Venture Co. Tower, and even traded it to the Defias Brotherhood. And surprisingly, they've been a part of a good majority of expansions too. In BC, they attempted to recover parts of the Exodar. In Wrath, they're in Grizzly Hills cutting down trees, among other places. After the world revamp in Kata, they're still in Mulgore and Stone Talon. And in Battle for Azeroth, they're in Stormsong Valley, and they took over all of Kazan in the Motherlode dungeon. We killed the President Mogul Razdunk at the end of the dungeon, so maybe that's the last we'll see of the Venture Co. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Back to Classic. So for starters, the Venture Co. are destroying the Earth, which is a bad thing for anyone living on Azeroth, but it's especially bad for races like the Tauren, whose whole culture centers around nature. The Venture Co. are also in cahoots with objectively bad groups of people, so it's obvious that they must be eliminated.